Oh, look at that, another video. It's called The Absurdity of Atheism. Of course I'm going to respond to it. Man, did you just wipe your nose with your knuckle, look down at it to check if there was a booger, and then roll your tongue around in your cheek to make it look like you're giving a BJ as the intro to your video? After all of that, you're 3 seconds in. Just restart the camera and do another take. You don't even have to edit. Man, what is with people?
Alright, good day to you, friends. So,
are you eating? Do you want me to come back in 5 minutes?
I want to talk just briefly about...
Did you just flat out say a boot? I'm Canadian and I didn't know people actually did that. I thought it was just Americans having dumb ideas. Maybe that'll draw some of their attention off of me. Maybe for a little while they'll stop making fun of me for saying sorry. Sorry. You're alright, buddy. Go ahead.
In my mind, I think most people's minds are really...
There's probably something in there. Just keep looking around. You'll find it.
The fact that I believe in God, to me, is, well...
Hey, if you can't find your string there, it's down your shirt. Just helping you out, guy.
Clearly not to everybody, but to me and to...
Hey, you found it. That's a relief.
Most of the people on this planet, the fact that God exists... No.
Wait a second. That wasn't a sentence. Go back and finish your sentence before you start a new one, young man.
No. What you may believe concerning God, obviously, it differs from one person to another, and it certainly differs from one faith to another. But the overwhelming majority of the people on the planet believe that the universe was created.
Majority, for sure, I would say. Yeah. I don't know what you consider an overwhelming majority to be, but I guess there's no point quibbling. So, you actually decorated your room, eh? You got a nice coat rack there. You got a little Christmas tree in the background, just barely visible, I see. You would be amazed how many people I respond to who don't put anything in their room. People who apparently just live in an empty house, maybe with a potted plant or something. Is that Christmas tree potted? Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe that is the potted plant.
To me, that's just so self-evidently true.
Cool, that's exciting for you. I'm glad to hear it.
Like, it's like, really?
Probably not.
You believe that all this wasn't created?
Oh, really that? In that case, yes then.
That there is no God?
Uh-huh.
Like, to me, atheism is the epitome of logical stupidity and logical absurdity.
Cool, that's exciting for you. I'm glad to hear it.
No, I want to make something very clear here before I continue with it.
I want to make something very clear before...
I am saying that atheism is the epitome of stupidity and absurdity. Not that atheists are... I'm not saying atheists are stupid or...
More stupider?
Absurd, but I'm saying that atheism itself, the position of atheism, is stupid and absurd.
Why would I have such a stupid position if I'm not stupid? Look, you can fix stupid, just stop being stupid. But if you're being stupid, if you're believing stupid crap, you're kind of stupid. If you don't want to be, just don't be anymore, and then you won't be anymore.
And atheists are fools, according to Psalm 14:1.
Right, exactly. You hold a stupid position because you're being stupid. You're being a fool. If you tell someone they believe something that's the epitome of stupidity, then you're telling them they're being a fool. They're being an idiot. At least with respect to that question. So why bother trying to soften this up? You already said that these people are believing something that's the epitome of stupidity. If somebody's going to get all and offended about that, they've already done it. What's the point? And now you've called them a fool too. What are you really accomplishing?
So again, it's not me that's calling atheists fools. It's the Word of God, God Himself. If you're an atheist, the Bible calls you a fool.
Okay, but you're the one bringing it up and saying it. You're saying, hey, look over here. This guy over here said you're a fool, and I agree. Don't try to shift responsibility off onto the other guy. It's you. You're saying it. You mean to say it. Quit hiding behind God's skirt.
And I happen to agree with what the Bible says.
Yeah, there you go. It's not me saying it. I'm just reciting it to you and saying I agree. That means I'm not the one saying it. That'll hold up in any court of playground law.
So if you're an atheist, why do you know right now, you're a fool.
Cool, if you're a Christian, you're a moron. I can do it too.
You're a fool.
I heard you the first time. Actually, the first 4 times, I think.
For believing that all this is not the work of magnificent, intelligent designer.
You got light gray painted drywall and a Christmas tree you bought at Walmart. Tone it down a notch.
If you can look at the stars, a tree, a flower.
Whoa, bro, you're right. I can do that.
The natural world around you and think that all of this didn't have an intended designer, you're an idiot.
Oh, so now atheists are stupid. You're having a bit of trouble deciding if you want to commit to that back pedal, aren't you? Hey, butthead. Take your time. I've got all day, plus or minus 23 3/4 hours.
That's probably maybe a little... This may come across a little harsh, but it's true.
Wasn't true a couple minutes ago, apparently. What changed since then?
If you think that there's no God, like, you're an idiot. I mean, it's maybe a little crass to say it, but yeah, you're lacking common sense and intelligence to believe that.
You keep stretching your arms out like some kind of bird. Is that meant to have some sort of rhetorical significance? Or are you just stretching out your pecs?
This whole world, the universe, and everything that didn't have intent behind it.
Right, so argument one for why atheism is absurd. You're an idiot! Accompanied, I guess, by your arms being stretched out and back. I think that's important. Alright, so one down, and man, I'm feeling pretty absurd. Really getting burned here. Not sure if I'll recover.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't jive, right? No.
It doesn't jive. Are you making a mistake and you mean it doesn't jibe? Or do you actually mean it doesn't jive?
Chomp don't want to help. Chomp don't get the help.
Say can't hang, say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains anyhow.
I've given reasons before why I believe that God exists.
Thank God, so you don't have to do it now.
Number one,
No, come on.
moral objectivity.
Nonsense concept.
Moral objectivity assumes a moral lawgiver.
No, it doesn't, but regardless, nonsense concept. So with regard to the question we're talking about, irrelevant.
And that the moral lawgiver has to be outside of humanity, because if we are the moral arbitrators of what's right and wrong, then it becomes subjective. And
Yeah, which it is.
what if you and I have a moral dispute?
Then we have moral disputes. We do that all the time. This isn't a what if.
Who you decide who's right and who's wrong, right? It just becomes a matter of opinion. Nothing more.
Yeah, that's why moral disputes don't tend to be easily resolved. It's a matter of each person's competing priorities and opinions and feelings and all that stuff. And there's no objective reality you can look to settle the matter. You just gotta duke it out, verbally or non-verbally. The moral argument is so funny. Imagine if morality wasn't objective. The world would work exactly the way the world works right now. Everything would look exactly the same as it does. But that can't be, so morality must be objective. Therefore, God.
No. And we know that there are absolutely moral objectively things that are absolutely moral objectively right and morally objectively abhorrent and evil.
Yeah, from your moral position, sure. From my moral position, sure. The things that we think are abhorrent. Objectively, in relation to our standards, yes. Hell, most people on the planet think the same thing, because the things that we think are really bad tend to be a problem for the survival of individuals and the species, and for the well-being during the lives of individuals. Their ability to feed and otherwise supply and support themselves and their families without constantly living in a horrible emotional state, like fear of others. These are pretty universal things. Basic priorities of most people who, for the most part, just want to live decent lives. These are widespread things, but of course, widespread does not mean objective. There are lots of things that are widespread. The preference for certain organisms over others. People like cats and trees and not spiders and cockroaches, more often than not. People have preferences of certain tastes over others, and certain smells over others, certain kinds of patterns over others, certain kinds of social interactions over others, certain kinds of stories over others. For as many differences as there are between human cultures, there are also a lot of similarities, and that's because humans are the same species. What makes us thrive or feel like we're thriving, and what makes us fail or feel like we're failing, are more or less the same across the board. But that doesn't make any of it objectively true. Reality doesn't care about all of this stuff. You do. I do. other people do. The reason we care so much about all of these things, and specifically, returning to the point, morality, the reason we feel like they're so important to the point of even thinking that reality itself must back us up on this, because it feels so real and important to us that it must be important beyond us too, is that these things are, objectively, deeply important to the thriving of a human organism, and of a human society. But that doesn't mean there's a reason to pretend that it's more than what it is. It's enough that it is what it is. It's important, it's meaningful, it's not nothing. It's just that it's not baked into some fundamental layer of reality, far below humans, which is fine. It doesn't need to be. It's still right there for us, which is the whole point.
It's always morally, objectively wrong to molest a child, rape.
The question isn't whether it's wrong. I agree that it's wrong. I agree it's always wrong. The question we're discussing is what that even means. Essentially, what standard are we comparing it to? You think there's some standard built into the deepest layers of reality, and I think the standard comes from us, which is appropriate because we're talking about things where the harm that's actually done is to us, to human beings. I don't see why some superhuman entity should have anything to say about this. The stuff that affects us is our concern. What some other thing thinks that has nothing to do with any of it and is totally unaffected by it means nothing. Why would that be the standard? Why would anyone want it to be? What would be improved by that?
Or murder someone, and murder, the difference between killing and murdering, okay? Murder is the unjustified taking of life. Now, killing may also be unjustified, but it's not always unjustified.
Okay, I didn't ask, but I guess thanks.
But anyways, that's technical.
No, it's just pointless. What does it have to do with the topic?
Semantic. But murder is always wrong. It's always wrong to unjustly take someone's life.
Seems a little redundant to say. It's basically like saying it's always wrong to wrongly take a life. That's pretty much what it means when you say unjustly take a life. So that being wrong is kind of just true by definition.
It's always wrong to molest a child. It's always wrong to rape somebody.
I really hope I don't put this video up and then 2 days later YouTube goes, yeah, I'm gonna yellow $sign that because it has naughty words, and then I have to re-upload it with calzones in there. Why do you gotta say stuff like that? Can't you just say calzone? Is this not an accepted standard at this point?
It's always right to tell the truth. It's always right to treat people as you would like to be treated. It's always right to seek the good of another.
Okay, dude, look, I get the point. You think morality is objective. I got it. The examples aren't making it any more clear. You could just say, I think morality is objective and be done with it.
All right?
Yeah, all right. If it means we can move on, all right.
It's always right to be patient.
Oh, come on.
And kind.
Come on.
And gentle.
Yes, I got you. I get it. Come on.
And self-disciplined.
Well?
Like, these things will always be objectively fact.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
Moving on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second argument. So first is moral objectivity. Second is fine-tuning of the universe. No.
Oh, fuck off.
And by that I mean...
I know what you mean. I don't care. There's no way you think anyone hasn't heard this argument before.
The universe is so precisely fine-tuned into where everything is in orbit in relation to everything else.
That statement makes no sense. Everything is in orbit in relation to everything else. No, it's not. Some things are in orbit in relation to some other things.
So for example, if we were slightly closer to the sun, we would fry. If we were slightly further away from the sun, we would freeze. If the gravitational force were an infinitesimal degree away from where it currently is, we would not be here to have this conversation.
Yeah, and that should already tell you the problem with the argument. If these things weren't as they are, we wouldn't be here talking about it. If the Earth were a lot closer to the sun and it was too hot to support life, the Earth wouldn't support life, but some other planet somewhere else that's not too close to its star or too far away maybe would support life. And if gravity could be different from what it is, which is a big assumption, and if it had ended up different, then maybe the universe would not exist as we know it, and maybe life would not exist as we know it. Maybe life wouldn't exist at all. But the fact is, gravity is what it is, and because it is as it is, life can be here. It doesn't imply that life is the goal, any more than a bunch of dead planets out there were the goal, or comets, or supernovae, or black holes. These are just things that are enabled by things being as they are. And this again is you doing what you did with the moral argument, where something is important to you, in this case, the existence of life, and so you think that fundamental reality must really care about this thing that you care about. The things that are important to you, and therefore they must be important to everything else too. Sorry, but I don't buy that the universe revolves around you.
Okay, third argument. DNA, I don't care what an atheist will say, DNA is literally coded instruction.
Okay, I'd tell you what I think about that, but you just said you don't care what I have to say about it, so fuck it.
Now, coding, last time I checked, requires someone to write it.
Yeah, I couldn't see that one coming a mile away. Haven't heard it before either. It's been a long month. It's really hard to bring myself to care right now. I'm sorry. And this guy isn't doing a good job inspiring me to care. This fruit's been molding on the ground for a while.
So if there's coded information in my body and yours, and there is, then someone must have written that code.
Wow, what a conclusion. That was a banger of an argument that you definitely didn't just parrot from Kent Hovind or somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good you took a second to have a breather there. That last one took a lot of effort. Must have taken a lot out of you.
Fourth argument. Irreducible complexity in cells.
How novel. Man, I bet you I'll go real in-depth on this one. It's totally worth doing for this video.
Now, the smaller a cell gets, the more complex it becomes. Irreducibly so.
The smaller a cell gets, the more complex it becomes. Alright, I don't think you even know what this argument is. Now you have my attention, because I can tell this is going to be bad.
And fifth argument.
Oh, never mind. Wow, you knocked it out of the park on argument 4 there, buddy. How could I not be a creationist after that?
We see order and design in the natural world.
Isn't that basically what all your other arguments were? Other than the objective morality one, but all the other ones. This is just the general form of all those other ones. You could have just said this.
You see everywhere you go natural design. You see symmetry in a snowflake. You see the order and design of the human body. You see the design of
the coat rack. You're looking around your room for examples of the appearance of design in nature. At least turn your head to the left instead so you can see the Christmas tree.
I mean, we replicate design, right? We make things.
Yes, we make things. We're not replicating design. We're making things. And then because we make things, we assume that other things must also be made because we're humans and we're stupid. What is that supposed to tell me about nature?
I mean, think about it. There's more information in the human body alone than everything else in the world combined.
Bullshit? Where have you got such an idea? I don't know. Guess that's the end of that then.
And again, you wouldn't believe that. You would not believe that the string on my sweater.
The string makes a comeback. Very creative example. But in your defense, you don't have a lot to work with in that room.
You believe, of course, without a doubt, that there's an intelligent mind created the string in my sweater.
Well, yeah, because I'm already familiar with how strings are made. I don't need to explain sweater strings if I already know where they come from. Again, what does that tell me about nature? Do people make the rocks and trees in a factory, too? Stop hitting your desk. It didn't do anything to you.
But yet, my body, which is infinitely more complex than the string of my sweater, didn't have a designer behind it?
Might have, doesn't appear to have. I don't think your string is designed because it's complex. It's not especially complex. I think it's designed because I already know that. Now, what do I know about your body? Well, if I lived in 1600, not a lot. But I don't. I live in 2023, and we have pretty good explanations for that, which I'm sure you reject entirely without even knowing what they are. Fine, that's your business. Nothing to do with me. Yes, I'm quite confident saying that your body was not designed by some external creator. You're more than welcome to keep on holding your arms out and making silly faces.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yes, I'm aware this doesn't make sense to you. You're probably profoundly uncurious and you've never looked into the explanations for this. Again, nothing to do with me. If that's how you want to live your life, have fun. Just why do you make these videos pretending like you know something? If you've chosen to be ignorant, just do that. Turn off the webcam and just be ignorant.
No, there's even more, there was facts like there's over 3 million light-sensitive cells per eye.
No, I think it's closer to like 100 million. And that's a lot of cells. Therefore God.
And there's no way you're going to have something as intricate as a human eye. You can have eternity on your side, and you're still not going to get that as the product of random chance.
I had to listen to that a few times because I could have sworn you said you can have a turdy on your sinus. But no, what you said was you can have eternity on your side, and you're still not going to get so on and so forth. Now, of course, I agree. If you just waited for a human eye to pop into existence at random, that's not going to happen. Which, of course, is why that's nobody's explanation for where human eyes come from. And this is what I mean. You've chosen to be ignorant, so why not just embrace it and stop talking?
Your brain makes over 1 billion calculations a second. You see, we have to just use your brain, people.
I don't have time to use my brain, damn it! I'm doing over 1 billion calculations a second here. Give me a break.
There's a God.
No.
And there's no getting around it.
I don't have to get around it. You're trying to hit me with it, but you're such a bad shot, all I have to do is stand still. Why do you think I approached this video the way I did?
You can't get something from nothing.
Oh, you had to throw that in there at the end, eh? Damn near every video lately, I swear.
See, atheists are always going to have the conundrum of, we don't know how life started.
That's barely a conundrum anymore. Yeah, the exact scenario is probably never going to be known, but there's a great deal of knowledge on this topic, and it's only growing.
And it's always going to be that way because you can't have something from nothing. You can't get intelligence from non-intelligence. You can't get life from non-life.
Yes, you can get life from non-life. Life is literally made entirely of non-living material. Intelligence, that's basically just a system of responses to the environment. That's a spectrum that goes all the way back down to non-responsiveness at the bottom end. And I have no idea why you brought up getting something from nothing if you're talking about life. The origin of life has nothing to do with getting something from nothing.
And you can't go on an infinite regress.
Well, so says you, but regardless, the origin of life doesn't require that, the origin of intelligence doesn't require that, and the origin of the universe doesn't require that. So is there a point to you saying that? Or are you just saying random things you've heard, and now you're gonna give the camera a dumb look for a few seconds and then move on to something else?
The universe had a beginning.
Oh hey, well, the dumb look thing was right, but this is the same topic. That's something.
Ergo, the universe has a beginner.
Very classy ergo. I wasn't sure if this video was all that smart, but now I'm thinking it probably is.
It's really that simple.
What, your beliefs, your arguments? Yeah, pretty much. That is pretty simple. A little bit too simple. It's kind of the problem.
It's really that simple.
Hey, no need to get emotional about it. I'd probably be a little upset too if I found myself having to defend something like that. Not an enviable position, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
Alright, that's it for now. Peace out, Brother Rob.
Alright, peace out, Brother Rob. Thank you everyone for watching this dumb and bad video. If you would, before you go, please do give the video a like and click subscribe if you haven't. And if you like the channel, maybe consider supporting. A couple bucks per video or per month is enormously helpful, and huge thanks to all of my supporters who've already made that choice. Early access, email list, list.logicked.com, and I'll see you next time.